Hey everybody, this is TJR.
This is Superfan.
And it's time for another installment of Exploring Miyazaki. I've decided to call the series that.
Oh, really?
We're several episodes in. Regardless, this is our chronological order exploration of the films of Hayao Miyazaki. Some of which we have seen previously, some of which we've never seen before. And this is one that we both watched 4 years ago.
Yeah.
You, of course, have read the book that it's based on.
No.
No, I thought you had.
No, I'm familiar with the author. I've read other books
You've
by
read
this
some
author.
Okay. But we watched this 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. And 4 years ago, after watching it, I was very, how shall I say, profoundly impacted by it. And so I wanted to immediately talk about it, and I did post a video about it on YouTube.
Yep.
Where I described it as like watching a dream. And seeing it again now, 4 years later, I feel even more like I just watched a dream on film. As I watched
I
this...
agree with that.
I'm sorry, what?
It has very dreamlike and surreal moments in it.
Well, other Miyazaki films have surreal and dreamlike moments in them. But this film, I think more than any other, is dreamlike, especially in the way that as I watched it, I kept asking myself, what the hell am I watching? Which is not an insult. I loved watching this film again. I probably loved it even more this time than the last time. The funny thing is that while I could remember it, I also couldn't remember it. Not unlike a dream.
Yeah, I agree.
And like I said, as I was watching this, I felt like it was making sense, but it was also not making sense.
Because it's surreal.
I mean, it's like I followed it. It has a through line.
Yeah.
I mean, yet at the same time, I kept asking myself once it was over, but how did we get here again? It's truly remarkable. What would you say this movie is about? If someone asked you, what's this movie about? What would you say it's about?
It's about war.
Okay.
It's also about true love.
Okay.
But it's also about confidence and having faith in yourself.
Okay. I can agree with all those themes. I would definitely say it's a love story. So we've got a young girl named Sophie who works in a hat shop in a world that looks, how shall I say, steampunk?
Yeah.
It looks very historical, like an era that I should recognize, and yet it doesn't. It has steampunk technology. It has wizards and witches. Mm-hmm. And one day, this girl, Sophie, who works in the hat shop, is walking home alone. She gets accosted by two soldiers who are getting way too fresh with her. And then she is rescued from these two soldiers who are being a little more threatening than they should be.
Yeah.
And they're flirting, but in a way that's
in an ominous way.
In a threatening way. And she is rescued by this handsome young man who we will find out is the film's title character, Howl. And she's rescued by him. Not too long after that, she's visited by a woman who is referred to as the Witch of the Waste.
Witch of the Waste, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the Witch of the West was taken.
Yeah, that was taken, yeah. I knew you were going to make a Wizard of Oz reference. Oh, man. Easy.
Well,
no, I don't blame you. I was looking for one, too.
There's a scarecrow, too.
You're right, there is. And not too long after that, she gets visited by this witch who turns her into a 90-year-old lady. We find out later, of course, that it's because she's jealous, because she is in love with Howl, and Howl spurned her on. We find out about that later. That's the reason why she does it. And so she goes out looking for a way to basically get the spell lifted. So she goes to what they call the valley or the land of the waste.
To the waste.
What's what they call it? And I guess obviously
the wasteland.
Because she's hoping that she can. I was guessing they never say it outright, but I was guessing okay, she's probably going to try to find that witch again or somebody that can remove that spell. Also, she can't talk about it. That's part of the spell. You can't talk about it. If she tries to, she can't get the words out of her mouth. And so she goes, looking for a way to get this spell lifted, and ends up, of course, running into Howl's moving castle. Howl is a great wizard, and he has multiple identities for different, I guess, countries, cities. His house has a special door that can open up in different
there's different portals that he can use.
Parts of the world that this movie is taking place in. And there's a war that is brewing, and each one of these kingdoms wants his help under a different alias.
Yeah.
He seems to have a spell placed on him that we don't know about. The Scarecrow character that you mentioned has a spell placed
on him. There's a lot of spells.
There's a lot of people, a lot of characters who have spells on them that they can't talk about. They're a mystery. And they're all kind of, I guess, trying to find a way to remove that spell, just like she is. Mm-hmm. There will be times in the film where suddenly it will appear as if the spell has lifted. She's young again. Other times she's not quite as old as she was when the spell first hit her. Mm-hmm. It will keep shifting back and forth, just depending on what's going on in the film. Throughout it all, it doesn't seem like our main character, Sophie, is aware of the fact that she's young again. Even if for a period of time, she never seems to be quite aware of it, that she's young again. Or not as old as she was when the spell first hit. Because when the spell first hit, she's very bent over, she's very heavy. Later, she's older, but she can stand up straight, and she's not as heavy. So, so it's not just young to old. It's young to older to not as old, and back and forth.
Yeah.
And yet, I found it at times perplexing in a good way. The same way that I find a lot of David Lynch films perplexing when I first watched them. And then, of course, rewatch them and slowly start to develop ideas of what I think it's about. Of course, nowadays we have YouTube, and I can also hear what other people have to say they think it's about. I really liked watching this film again. And like I said, it was like I couldn't remember it entirely. It was 4 years ago. And 4 years ago I said, I can't wait to watch it again. I'm sorry I waited this long.
Yeah. Well, 4 years ago, the world was in a pretty strange place, too.
Yeah, true. It's in a pretty strange place now.
Yeah.
But at any rate, though, I described myself in that video 4 years ago as being knocked out by this film. I feel even more knocked out by it.
Yeah.
And I think I could spend quite a bit of time just thinking about this film, just thinking of different ways I might interpret certain aspects of it. I was very tempted before making this video to watch and listen to what others might have to say about it on YouTube, but I avoided that temptation because I wanted my thoughts to be just solely my own at this moment, with no one else's thoughts to add to it.
Yeah.
I will, of course, be listening to what others have to say about it and listen to different theories about it. I mean, on the one hand, you're right. It is just a simple love story. In fact, to me, it does have themes of war, but to me, mostly, it's just a simple love story.
But it's also having faith in yourself and trusting in your abilities.
I guess that's true, because I noticed, like, for instance, when she stands up to this one magical, I guess, wizard called Solomon, a woman, who says that Howl was her best pupil.
Yeah, her
There's
apprentice.
a point where she completely stands up to her, and she's suddenly the young girl again.
Yeah,
And then she's immediately the old woman again after she's done doing that. That's the first time where she suddenly transforms back into her own youthful self.
the more faith she has in herself, the less strength that spell
has on her. I
and
see.
that's why when she's sleeping, she's a young girl.
That's true. The first time Hal sees her asleep, she is the young girl, and you mentioned he obviously knows who she is. He obviously recognizes her from before, but he never tells her
Yeah.
about it. He never brings it up to her. And I did kind of wonder, why doesn't he bring it up to her? Why doesn't he say, hey, I remember you. I rescued you from those two soldiers. We walked in the sky together. He never says that to her. I kind of wondered why. And those are some of the things that I will think about when I think about this film more, basically. That's just one of the many, probably hundreds of things that I will think about.
Yeah.
This film, though, in my mind, didn't have to make 100% sense. In the same way that David Lynch films, in my mind, don't have to make 100% sense. What's more, I think the point is how the
Are
emotions...
you able to interpret the story?
How I'm able to interpret the story, but also just the emotions that it makes me feel that wash over me, because that is similar to a dream. You may not understand why you feel the way you do, but just go with it and let the feelings wash over you, because it could reveal things not only about the story, but about yourself. And that's what I sometimes try to tell people who, when they talk to me about David Lynch and they want to understand it and have it make sense, and I say it'll never make 100% sense, But what's more important is, what does it tell you about yourself, as far as how you feel when you react to it.
Yeah.
Anyways, though, this was definitely the most dreamlike of all the films so far. Maybe it'll be the most dreamlike of, even more so than Spirited Away, which was the last movie we looked at. Mm-hmm. But this one I am just profound. I just feel there's just such a profound sense of awe watching this film, of awe and wonder. And I feel like I'm going to be thinking about this one for quite a while. I think I'm going to really be hunkering down and studying this film. It's going to become and I go through these things where I become kind of obsessed by a certain piece of art or culture, and I really explore the hell out of it.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I am currently doing that right now with a piece of children's anime and manga, based on a manga. I'm currently kind of obsessively studying. I won't say what it is, but I'm studying it, just on my own. And once in a while, I'll give you some of what I've found out about it. I feel like I'm also going to be hunkering down now and just kind of reading about this film, reading about the book that it's based on, reading about whatever I can about it, listening to other commentaries about it, and just absorbing and trying to understand this film better. And I love when this happens with me, because it just enriches me.
Yeah, I'm going to be spending the next 20 hours watching reviews of this movie.
No, you won't. I'll be listening to those when I'm exercising.
Help me.
You're full of it. I'm going to be mainly listening to this while I'm exercising.
I know.
But I'll be giving you the cliff notes, though. I'll be saying, okay, so I found out more, and you'll be like, okay, as I update you on the latest information I found.
Yes.
Anyways, you've been very sweet to put up with me when I talk about this children's anime.
Let me stop what I'm watching on TV. Okay, you can talk now.
Yeah. You don't talk about the stuff that's fascinating you at the moment. Anyways, though, but yeah, I really love this film, as I've loved all of the Miyazaki films we've seen so far. I think maybe we're like more than halfway through his filmography at this point. I haven't really checked.
I
But
think so.
what an amazing filmography. And I almost feel like it's becoming my duty now to, whenever possible, when I find people who've never maybe watched a film by Miyazaki, or maybe don't even know who he is.
We have 3 left.
We have 3 left? Okay, we have 3 left. Okay, we're more than halfway through. Okay.
Very.
But
yeah.
I'm at a point now where I feel like it's almost going to be my mission now that if I'm talking to somebody and I find out they've never seen a Miyazaki film, or maybe never even heard of him, that I do what I can to maybe spread some enthusiasm to watch.
Yeah.
Maybe I find a way to sell it to them, for lack of a better word. Get them excited and enthused to want to go check it out. To basically spread the word. Anyhow, though.
I just want to go to the museum when we go to Tokyo.
Yeah, so do I. We are going to Japan, and that's what started all of this. We've mentioned this in previous installments, is before we go, we're going to try to watch every film so that we're prepared if we're lucky, can get tickets to the museum. So what's our next film?
Ponyo.
Ponyo. We've seen that one before also, but it was even more than 4 years ago. I'm not sure how long ago it was, but we saw this one several years ago. I remember at the time, my reaction was one of puzzlement at the ending. And I kept saying, I think something got lost in translation. It will be interesting to see how I react to it now, all these years later, seeing it again. So that's going to be interesting. That's going to be fun, I think. So join us for the next episode when we watch Ponyo, almost sort of kind of again for the first time. That's how I felt about this one. Like I was watching it again for the first time because it just felt like a vague dream in my head.
Okay.
Anyhow. Yes.
I don't think that I've seen this one.
Oh, you saw it with me.
Ponyo?
Yeah, you saw it with me. We watched it together.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyhow, though, join us next time. As always, if you like these videos, hit like, hit subscribe, and hit the bell notification icon so you never miss a video. A big thank you to our patron supporters. Patron supporters do receive exclusive content not available on this channel. And mostly thank you so much for watching. In a few moments, you're going to see some video recommendations for some videos I've created in the past that you might enjoy. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.